about NLP yesterday, neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro-linguistic is neuro is your brain, linguistic is the language. Perception is driven through what? We spoke about how perception is driven through the senses. What are the 5 senses? Eyes, nose, ears, skin, touch, tongue, taste, all that. 5 senses. These 5 senses are the ones that decide your human behavior, and they are called as modalities. They're divided into 3 categories in NLP, V, A, and K. V is visual, that's your eyes perceiving. A is auditory, which is listening, and K is kinesthetic. Kinesthetic refers to the other 3 senses, which is the ability to smell, taste, and feel. V-A-K. How do people learn? Now, why are we talking about this is we're going to talk about when you train your employees. How do you train your employees? How do you train them once you hire them? If you look at the talent management cycle, the first step in learning, there's a cycle for people's learning, and the first step in learning is called as unconscious incompetence. What is the meaning of that term? Unconscious incompetence. Sorry, Paris, could you be a little louder?
People are doing something wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I do not have that skill. Let's talk about the first time you saw somebody cycling when you were a child. You know that you have to get on a bicycle, you have to learn, but you don't know what was missing. When you go for the driving license, you know everyone's driving around you. The first time you drive, you don't know what it is to have a driving license, you don't know what skills are missing. That's called as unconscious incompetence. The moment you sit inside the car, your instructor tells you, adjust the mirror, do this, and then you're like, oh, I don't know this, okay. So this is what I need to learn. So now you move from unconscious incompetence to a place of conscious incompetence. Now I know what is missing, right? That's conscious incompetence. Then we have practice. We're going to take care of practice. We're going to take care of driving more faster. The instructor is going to give you, and then you move to a stage called conscious competence. Now I know what to do, right? But am I an expert? Not yet. But if I practice, I can become an expert, and then I move to what? Unconscious competence. I know that skill backwards. I can be talking to you and still drive. I can be chatting and driving. I've become an expert right now. This is the learning. So when your employees are not learning something, you figure out which stage are they right now.
It becomes more of a habit.
It becomes more of a habit. Yeah, and it doesn't stop there. Why does not it stop? It's a cycle. Why do we call this as a cycle? Because here is the expert. But why doesn't it stop at the expert level? Correct. I would say that learning stops after you become an expert, right? But why are we not stopping there? Yeah, but let's say driving. Now you've become a good expert driver. After learning to get a driving license, you become an expert driver. What's the next step from here? What if your rules change? Situations change. Right, then what you do in this stage is you critically self-evaluate what parts of learning is missing and you upgrade yourself. And that's exactly why learning is a continuous journey. It just doesn't stop. Does that make sense? Right? So this is the learning journey. What is training? I'm going through all this because these are words that are familiar to you, but we're not going to spend a lot of time. But I just want you to understand that, do you understand the concept of training? What is, yeah. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. You have a new employee. Let's take a very simple example. You have a new employee. The employee does not know a part of the job. Part of the responsibility is to make photocopies in your organization. Very simple. Let's take it very simple. right? But the first time the person comes into the organization does not know that things photocopying is very easy. But when he does not know what he needs to do a photocopy, he does not know how to operate the machine, what skills are required, what timing is required, he does not know anything. Now, right now, your employee is not aware what is missing in his skill set to operate a photocopier. Unconscious incompetence. And then you stand at the photocopier and you tell the person, okay, this is photocopying, this is printing, this is where you put the paper in, this is A4 set, this is A3, and if you can't do it, you have to change the setting. So now I'm standing there, oh wow, Sandeep, that's a lot. Okay, give me some time to assimilate this information, right? But now I know what's missing. So I've come to the stage of conscious incompetence. You brought me to the stage as my trainer, as my mentor, as my coach. You've brought me here to this level. Yeah. This is a line manager's responsibility to make an employee conscious of what skills the employee is missing. Right? And then you bring me to conscious competence. You say, okay, I want you to practice 50 photocopies every day. The first thing you come into the morning, you have a lot of copies to do, so I want you to practice this every day in the morning, 15 minutes for the next 1 week. Now, I'm aiming to become competent over here. And then I go to becoming all by myself. I know the skill backwards. What's the best way to become an expert in your life? Practice. Subconsciously, you become that. So that's one fantastic point, nice perspective. But what else makes you perfect? Practice. Yeah, you're practicing all this, right? But the best way to become perfect at something is teaching other people to do it. Now, the employee who you taught becomes the trainer for the new employee who does not know how to photocopy in that machine. So you will tell that, okay, Immanuel, I want you to learn photocopying and teach the new guy who's coming next week and joining. So now my responsibility is, oh wow, so I have to reach here in the next 1 week. So what Sandeep has told me that I have to reach here in the next 1 week, and when I train people, I retain the best. You see what I'm saying? So the best way to take this learning today and go back is to execute this in your roles, back in your organization, right? So that's what learning does. The best way to retain is to teach other people. And then you automatically, like Paris said, it settles in the subconscious because you're teaching people, the information is reinforced again and again and again, so therefore it settles in the subconscious mind. Learning then, therefore, becomes something that you become an expert, right? So yeah, so it's very important to understand the learning journey because your employees may be incompetent, but they might be in this step somewhere and you don't know where. Are they in step 1? Are they in step 2? Because if I don't know what's missing in me, how will I work on my skills? So that's the whole problem when employers or leaders don't understand where the employee is struggling in terms of learning.